I'm starting a series tonight I'm calling Living in the God Zone. And what we're going to do over the next several weeks is we're going to break down the Lord's Prayer. We're going to look at it line by line by line. And how many of you grown up in a Baptist church? You probably didn't publicly say the Lord's Prayer very often, did you? And when I was a Catholic and I grew up, the first part of my elementary years, I was in a Catholic school and went to a Catholic church and did my first Holy Communion there and all those kind of things. The Lord's Prayer was something that we did, we did it as punishment. Did you know that? I mean, we would go to the priest and give our confession. And then the priest would tell us, well, then you need to go and do 20 push-ups. And no, he would say, go and you're forgiven. Go and you got to say so many Hail Marys and you got to say so many Our Fathers. And I learned to say the Lord's Prayer, believe it or not, as a punishment because of things that I've been doing wrong. And what's happened is I think we're talking about one side of the spectrum. They've taken it to where it's something that can become very religious, just something that you do and you really don't even think about what you say or how you pray it. And then you go the other side, and the Baptists and some of the more evangelical churches look at that and they say, well, Jesus said that we're not just supposed to say things over and over again. So what they do is they take the Lord's Prayer and they say, well, this is how we should pray, but you don't say the Lord's Prayer over and over again because then you're just babbling and you're carrying on like Jesus says not to. Well, neither one of those are right. And the very neat thing about the Lord's Prayer is that Jesus said, this is how you pray. In Luke's gospel, as the disciples actually came to him and said, Jesus, you just seem to, you have so much more spiritual power than we do. What are we doing wrong? Are we praying wrong? How do we pray? And then when you look at it in Matthew, it's actually right smack in the middle of the Sermon on the Mount. And Jesus is telling us how we're to live our lives out as Christians. And he goes, let me give you something very simple, but very complete. And he teaches us the Lord's Prayer. The Lord's Prayer isn't just a prayer that we say out of memory. It's not just something that we do out of religion. It's a real honest-to-goodness prayer given to us by Jesus. And it's not only a prayer, it's a teaching on how to live our lives